Hello, happy Thursday. It's almost the end of the week, so let's get started. I shouldn't bypass that. Today we're going to be reading a poem that talks about identity and finding your identity, and we're going to be analyzing that in order to kind of answer an overall essential question. So for the objective, you're going to be able to read and analyze poetry in order to gather evidence to respond to the essential question. That essential question is, what challenges do young people face when developing their own sense of identity or self? Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is stop and jot. This question is something that you are going to answer based on your own personal experiences. Do you think it is difficult to find yourself at your age? What find yourself means is that is it difficult to be able to look at yourself and be like, this is the kind of person that I am, and I am very confident in that, and I'm very happy with that? Do you think that is difficult at your age? Why or why not? So I'm going to show you exactly how you type in your response. So I'm going to give you a copy of this slideshow. You're going to erase what is written here, and you just write your response. So erasing things in the slideshow is not going to change the slideshow for anyone else because you're getting your own personal copy of it, okay? So you just type your responses in the boxes and then submit it, and I'll get all your responses. Okay. So the poem you're reading is Masks by Shel Silverstein. So you're going to read the poem to yourself. The poem is right here. If you would like to go on commonlit.org, you click on this link and it'll bring you to the poem on Common Lit to use the read aloud feature. But I actually give you a video that reads the poem aloud to you, so you can bypass going on Common Lit for today. So you're going to read the poem to yourself right here. And then you're going to watch the video to have the poem read to you. You're going to click play on this slide right here. Okay. The video is 30 seconds long, so it doesn't take a while. It just reads the poem to you, and that's it. Then you're going to answer the questions on the next slide. The first question is, what does the blue skin symbolize or represent in the poem? Explain using text evidence. So you're going to do the exact same thing. You thought I was going to give you the answer. Haha, no. But you are going to type your response the same way that you did with the stop and jot. Okay? And again, your PowerPoint is different than everyone else's, so you're not erasing things for everybody else. Okay? Come on. Okay, there we go. And then the second question, how does the illustration contribute to the meaning of the poem? What it means by illustration is this right here. The images of these two people wearing the masks. Okay? How does that illustration contribute to the overall meaning behind the poem? You're going to type your response the same way you did or you would with this one. Okay, so now you're going to answer a question about the theme of the poem. The theme is the overall message that the author is trying to convey. What is the theme of the poem Masks by Shel Silverstein? Use evidence from the poem to support your response. So you are also going to be typing in your responses in this box right here the exact same way. The theme of the poem is blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to give you the answer, but you're going to type what you think the theme is in this box first. Then I know this because in the text it states, and you are going to take a quote from the text, put it in those quotation marks, and then you're going to put the author's last name, which you should know is Silverstein. Okay? And then you put the line number, lines 1 through 2, or whatever the case may be. Okay? And then this quote shows that the theme is, and you're basically repeating what you wrote in the first, because, all right, so you are going to answer these questions and insert your personal responses into into this table right here. Okay? So finally, you got one more thing you got to do. After the blah, blah, blahs, you are going to gather some evidence. So this big question is, what challenges do young people face when developing their own sense of identity or self? Find 2 quotes from Masks that discuss these challenges and include them in the following text box. So you are going to take a quote from Masks. I'm just going to show you by taking the first line of the poem. So the first line of the poem, my computer is so slow today. The first line of the poem says, she had blue skin. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write okay. So I wrote the first quote, the first line of the poem, because, and again, this is an example, so don't take this as like to be completely truth. I'm just using this as an example. She had blue skin, Silverstein, line 1. So I have my quote, I have it properly cited, I have the period after the parentheses, and then I am going to explain why I chose this quote, because anybody can just take the first line of Shel Silverstein's poem and just plop it into this box and be like, done. You would need to explain why you chose this quote. This shows that finding your identity is hard because, and then I'm going to go in with my explanation, which, as you know, is blah, blah, blah. Okay? So I need you to not only give me a quote, but also explain why you chose this quote, because it would not make any sense for me to just ask you to copy and paste lines of poetry into this text box without asking you to also explain why you're choosing those pieces of poetry. Okay? All right, so that is it for today. Let me end on a high note here. As soon as my computer loads, I'll end on a high note. This is kind of starting to become a low note because my computer's so slow. There you go. There's the high note. Here's some puppies. Okay, that's it. I've wasted enough of your time. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Use the live question sheet. Please check in for attendance. I believe Patrick has been doing that. Pretty awesome. Great job, Patrick. Everybody else needs to start doing it. All right. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow.